Evening, guys. We've had a few people ask us to explain our drone trace for sharks, and it's very simple. This is literally it. Um, the hook size will obviously depend on your bait size, and so will your steel and your swivel. But this is our standard trace. We use it for almost everything. This side, this swivel is a bit small. I would go for 1.0 Japan power swivel, and on this side we have a 18.0 mustard hook. We just open it a bit just to get the gap a bit bigger, and then obviously squash the barb just to make it a bit easier to get the hook out when you land at the fish, and get that turnaround time a bit quicker. Just to show you how we make the trace, we use this 590-pound big catch steel. It's very supple and easy to work with. So on the hook we usually snell it. Some people say it's not necessary to snell it, but yeah, this is what we would use. You go from the front of the hook, turn it around the shank for about 6-7 times. It doesn't really matter that much. Straighten it out a bit, and then most people just put the wire through the hook, the eye of the hook again. But there's a little trick we use. You open that loop on the inside of the hook's eye, and then you put the steel through that opening again. Pull it tight on this side, and pull it tight on this side. That will set the knot very nicely in the hook, and it's not necessary for heat shrink on the hook itself. A lot of people use heat shrink and insulation tape on this side, but I don't think that's necessary if you do the knot like that. You just clip this tag in a bit. This steel is a bit tough, but that is the perfect snell knot on the hook. On the other side with the swivel, we just, as I said, use a big Japan power swivel. I prefer 1.0. We couldn't find 1.0s here. Put the heat shrink over, show you that a bit later, and then just go for a normal figure of 8 knot here. Go once, go twice. Some people make the figure of 8 a bit different. That's the way I was taught. And you pull it tight here. It helps a lot when these two ends come out on the same side of the knot. Otherwise you just turn the knot so that they come out the same side. Pull that one fairly tight, not too tight. Move it up to the swivel. Then you can just pull it tight there. There you go. This tag end I won't cut too short. Leave some space for the knot to be able to set as well. When it's under pressure with the shark, that knot will pull in, and if the tag end is too short, it will actually slip through the knot. Just put the heat shrink over there. You can either use heat shrink or insulation tape. It's usually easier to just use insulation tape. It's easier next to the water. Just shrink it down there. Just get the knot nice and neat. As I said, this is the problem with the smaller swivel. The loop doesn't set so nicely on the eye, but that should pull tight when you get that bite. And literally, that's the trace we use. The sinker you can just on the one eye of the hook. We use 60-pound nylon coated steel. That helps a lot when you fish areas where there's a lot of raggies and stuff. Usually, sometimes they just swim by and one of their tooth just nick it. If it's nylon, it's off and you have to put the bait back and fly it back. So that just prevents you from having to go through all that effort and possibly miss a bite. And this side you just tie it to your leader. We usually fish 2 millimeter leader. Some people go 2.5 or even heavier, but a 2 mil or a 2.2 mil is more than sufficient for most areas. The important thing with a leader is the length. We prefer going to 20 meters. That just helps a lot when you have to land the fish. Yeah, that's our basic shark trace for the drone.